Good evening. Patrick here, 8 Questions with, and glad you guys are here with us today. I'm going to do just a little bit of maintenance here. Uh, Give me 1 second here, and we will get this party started. All right. I know we're here on a Monday. And yeah, it's a little different. But we are going to be dark tomorrow. So we're doing the show tonight. Tomorrow will be dark before we pick up the last two shows of the week. Hello, Stephen. How are you? How are you? And yeah, so we are we talking with writer and model and artist Mandi Raven. She will be here shortly with us, and we will be talking all things art tonight. Um, I'm so glad to have another artist on the show. I really like talking to the artists. I think they're a lot of fun. They each come with their different set of answers and to different questions on how they do things, how they get their inspiration. It's a lot of fun to find to see how it works. And Mandy's gonna. I believe that Mandy will try to work with us on maybe do an art project with us. I know she's at her aunt's house today, so I'm not really sure if that will if that can happen or not. But we're gonna try. Let's see. Anthony says he's got a new YouTube channel. Well, what happened to the other? What happened to your other channel? Your other channel, Anthony. You still have that one, right? What are you doing? What are you doing on the new channel? So, real quick, want to talk a little bit about last night. Me and the Cheetah, we were invited to take part of the seventh annual Oscars. I want to say Oscars, but it's Oscars, which is an award show put together by Danny Nightmare and his lovely wife, Gory B. Movie. And it aired last night live. And different folks from the community were asked to partake of the show and to do nominations and read award winners. And so I got to team up with our good friend Monty, the horror miser, Monty G, Mr. IFC, Mr. A24 themselves, and we got to do our category was super cool. We got to do the best screenplays, and what really made it really special for me was the fact that uh, uh, that Brightwood got nominated. Brightwood got nominated for that. It didn't win, but I still was really psyched out to see that someone had actually thought enough of the movie to nominate it to nominate the film. As you know, it's mine and my brother from another mother, the Bat, aka Al Lacard. That was our favorite movie of the last year. That movie was banging, and it was so cool to see it get recognized. And I just want to say thanks to Danny and Gory for recognizing it and putting it in a category. I think that was really cool. And we also saw the Best Death of 2023, and that one was featured our friend Karen Cleach, a friend of the show, a friend of mine, Karen Cleach. She played the actress who got killed in the Best Death of 2023 as voted by everybody here in the community. And so Karen came onto the show, and she talked about her experience making that movie with Eli Roth. That was a lot of fun seeing that too. It was so cool. I emailed her after the show. I sent her a message on Instagram after the show saying that she had won the Best Death of 2023. I had to send her the clip of the show where she could see that. Super psyched. It was so much fun. And congratulations, because she definitely earned it, that's for sure. Greetings, Professor. Greetings. Um, let's see. No, no, I didn't watch the Oscars. I was watching the Oscars on Gory B and with Gory B and Danny Nightmare. Me and Monty, we got to present an award, so we watched it. Super fun show, by the way. Super fun show. In fact, I got to share that out after this. After this show's here, I got to share that out um, because it was a lot of fun. And I also say you got to say thank you again to the Mighty Cinema Squad, who came over and took over last year. They did the third annual Rubber Duckies, and me and the Cheetah were asked to partake of that as well, and so we were able to do that. So we got invited to do both shows in the community, and quite honored to do so. Very honored to do so. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be back invited next year. Hey, Lady Valerie. All right, all right. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We're going to be talking with artist Mandi Raven. She will be here shortly, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But let me tell you what's coming up on Wednesday. Wednesday, we are doing a cool show on Wednesday. We are talking to two artists, a young director named Kalel Neal, and he is making a film called Tennessee Bigfoot. He will be here to talk about his career. He's just starting out. He's just a young man. He's just getting off the ground. And we're going to be talking to another young lady named Nicole Ann. She is based in Ohio. I typed in the Ohio pipeline. That's right, because you guys all know that we are huge fans of the Midwest, Iowa, Ohio, just just tremendous places to go for talent. Um, and so we got Nicole Ann. She's a young actress from Ohio. She's just getting her career started as well. Now she's doing a play. She's rehearsing for a play, but she's just now getting her film career just off the ground. And so we're going to be talking to them both on Wednesday. And one's an actor, one's a director, and we're going to be talking to them both about how they've gotten their start and how it's progressing for them so far. I know it seems sort of simple on the surface with that, but if you've watched anything about this show, you know that those answers are never simple. They're always very interesting and very in depth. And I'm looking forward to meeting both them on Wednesday, the 13th at 8 o'clock. Okay. Uh, the professor said he didn't watch him either. Just saw Godzilla -1. Yeah, he Godzilla won for best visual effects. That I did see. That I did see. Um, so that was very, very cool. Let's see. And Steven says that Mandy is on Twitch. Yes, she is. She is a Twitch artist, and she's very popular over there. And we'll be talking to her about that as well. I don't know anything much about Twitch. I don't really know much about it. I know it's very popular. I know it's mostly for gaming, people who do gaming, um, but not always, because we do have another Twitch artist this week, and that will be Thursday the 14th, as we welcome in makeup artist and body painter Haley Elizabeth will be here on Thursday. Um, and I've already seen some of her. I saw some of her Twitch videos. That lady is crazy talented, crazy talented. I watched her. She has one video where she is painting a horse on herself. She's painting a horse, and she's doing it. She's painting a horse, like she's talking to the camera, and she's drawing a horse where she's talking to the camera. That's insane. How do you do that? Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Uh, so yeah, so we have a couple of Twitch artists this week. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to talk to. All right, so we got things coming up here, and now that Lady Valerie is in the chat, now I can actually break this out. So April 14th, we're going to be Sunday, April 14th. As some of you may have caught me and Katie a couple of times, we've done a couple of videos where we cover some Hallmark movies. And well, we wanted to do a little bit more with that. So we rallied a couple other Hallmark people, Hallmark lovers, and we are going to do a Hallmark show on the April the 14th, and we're going to start doing it once a month. That's right. And before you guys laugh at that, because I can already hear some of the guys going, just wait till you see who's riding up to ride with us down the Hallmark lane. That's right. None other than Hey Internet. It's Eric. He's going to be doing some. He's going to be doing some deep dives with us on some Hallmark movies. And Eric. He does interviews. He does great in depth. He did two Bearded Losers podcasts for a while. He does movie reviews. He does deep dives. Basically, he is a whore all the way through and through. But he wants to see what the Hallmark world is all about, and we're going to introduce him to him. We will be talking about this movie here. I can show you what movie we're going to be talking about, and that will be The Lost Valentine. Now, I know I can hear you guys laughing. Don't tell them. I'm just letting you know. I can hear you guys laughing over here. But let me tell you, this movie stars Jennifer Love Hewitt and Betty White. Now, if you sit there and say that you're a horror fan, right? I'm a horror fan. Ooh, Stew Train, ISC Midnight. Now, if you guys are sitting there saying that you're a horror fan and you're laughing at us because we're watching Hallmark, then you ain't been paying attention. Jennifer Love Hewitt, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Betty White, Lake Placid. There is horror in Hallmark. Let me tell you, there is horror in Hallmark. Couple of movies will be taken. I can tell you right now, some of the movies that we'll be talking about later on in the series all have actors with deep roots in horror. So not only are you watching some really fun movies, but the actors and some of the actors in the movies, they have paid their way in blood in horror films. Let me tell you. All right. And if you laugh too loud, and too hard, Lady Valerie, if you notice that she's carrying a wrench in her hand, okay? She is not afraid to use that, son of a bitch. I'll tell you that right now. I think my lump is going down. Let me tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be Lady Valerie from Val's Views. Hey, Internet, it's Eric, myself, and Katie from Popping the Popcorn. So we're going to be doing that on the 14th. It is absolutely going to be it's going to be absolutely banging, and I can't wait for it. All right. See, look at that. See, look at even Steven right there. Steven dropping knowledge. That's right, and that is one of the best Hallmark movies ever released too, Steven. Sarah Plain and Tall. I believe they released 2 sequels to that. And they also Hallmark also did I think the last 2 movies of the Jesse Stone series that was made for the Hallmark movie, and that starred Tom Selleck and Oscar winner Viola Davis. You laugh at Hallmark at your peril. All right, so let me tell you what's coming up here on the calendar. Well, we're gonna have to save that because the doorbell has rang and we have to go get it. So please help me welcome, share us out. Please help me welcome in artist, writer, and model Mandi Raven. And here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Glad you're here. Super good, super well. Glad you are here.
I'm happy to be here.
Wow, this is I don't know if I've ever had. I'm not sure if I've ever had a dedicated Twitch for I guess what do they call folks who follow who are on Twitch?
Streamers.
Streamers, just streamers.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure like they call us tubers.
Oh yeah, I get it. I've thought about going into the YouTube world too, but Twitch has been so good to me.
Yeah, no. By all means, I just didn't know if they call you guys Twitchers, Twitch tubers, Twitch streamers. Okay, Twitchers too. Steven says. Twitchers too. All right, all right. That's if you're telling me, Steven, to call them Twitchers too, then I'll do that.
It's funny.
How went your day today?
Oh, good. I had the day off from work. It was it's nice. It's weird having a Monday off of work. So I feel like I get to do everything that I need to during the week that I wouldn't otherwise get to do. So nice and relaxing though. I got to cook a lot, got a lot of phone calls done, and now we're here. How was your day?
Pretty productive. Pretty productive. Got a couple of shows booked for April. I was just telling everybody before you got here that we're going to be starting a new series We're going to be starting a new series here with me and some friends. We're going to be looking at and discussing Hallmark movies.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
See, look at
Hallmark's.
that. Look at that. See, look at that. She didn't even break stride. See.
I mean, Hallmark has a lot of good movies, or just very interesting movies. Otherwise, like they definitely have a purpose, and as much as they pump them out, they always have something to do.
Well, what's really fun about them is the fact that people crack up about them, but then all of a sudden, then you turn around and start whispering in their ear about all the people that they're laughing at that have appeared in some of the best horror movies ever made. Yeah. And all of a sudden, they quit laughing. They go like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And it says, "That's right, you heathen." So.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, everybody's getting back up there was like a period where there was not much horror movies when I was a teen. Like nothing was good put out. So it's all cult classics now. Everybody's getting back into that scene or that time frame. But it was a good 10 years where it's just kind of weird, scary movies.
What year was this?
This is like early 2000. I'd say like 2005 to 2015. There wasn't really much that was well put out. Like there were plenty of horror movies given out, but none of them were very good.
We have to help you with that because the IFC Midnight, I think they started out on 2007 or 2009. So after that, then horror became really, really good. But a lot of people don't know that. But that's why we're here. We're here to show. Show that. The professor says the last time he twitched, he had to go to the hospital to have it looked at.
It sounds like something you need to get looked at. That's for sure.
Yeah, he probably won too many blue pills, right? You know, I'm not.
I kind of prefer the red pills. It seems more chaotic.
All right. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Now it definitely is. Now I know that when we talked before the show, we talked about maybe you'd be able to do a small art while we're talking. Oh, look at that.
Just grabbed it. Before I sat down, I'm like, I promised I would do something. But
that is so much fun right there. We tried that once before with our friend Angela, and it worked out so well. It was just so cool to sit there and watch you work while we talk.
Yeah.
Now, is this what you do mostly on your Twitch channel? Are you an artist on Twitch? So I
do art on my Twitch. I also play video games. Sometimes I'll just hang out and talk to people and do tarot readings. So it really it kind of depends on my mood, which is nice because it's up to me. But now that I have a set schedule for work, sorry, I'm trying to get this garbage out of the way. Now that I have a set schedule for work, I get to revamp my Twitch and redo everything and like actually have specific days that I can do stuff. And I think it'll be a lot better, a lot more structure, a lot more consistency, and not 12-hour Twitch streams anymore.
How many? How long?
I used to do 12-hour Twitch streams when I first started out.
How in the hell did you do that?
COVID.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I had nothing else to do with myself. I was working for PlayStation at the time. We all got laid off, so it's like, well, I have video games, might as well stream Twitch, and we'll see what happens out of it. So.
Oh, 12 hours. That's a long time to be playing games. Hey, Mike, how are you? Our good friend Mike from Did You See That is here.
Yeah.
We are having fun tonight. Thank you again for your support as always. I appreciate it so much. Yes, she said 12 hours.
I did. Yeah, I would sleep a little bit during the day, and then I'd get up, do whatever I needed to, and just sit down and go on my Twitch. So we'd like run through a bunch of games. It wasn't the same game every time, but it would be to the point where I forgot to eat. So ordering food would also be part of my Twitch stream. It would just be this whole thing, trying to figure out what it was, and then everybody would eat with me too.
Well, that would be fun.
Yeah, it was really nice. People would do like I got a really good group at the time. of people always checking in because they had to do homework. So I'd have nice music going, and they would just have me running, and they just hang out with me. It was nice. It's very wholesome and welcoming, as chaos as I am.
Yeah. Now you just kept that rolling right after COVID ended, right? You just kept on
I
doing the
did.
same thing,
Yeah.
except
The
probably not,
only Yeah, it's
not the
only I've only been
same.
on a break for the last like half a year just because I've been moving and trying to get set up to move to California and uh, all of that. But now that I'm here and now that I'm settled and I have a whole office dedicated to Twitch, like I have sound panels right here. It's much more appropriate.
You
It'll be
said
much better.
dedicated to Twitch. Now, do you actually work for the company, or are you one of the
No,
ambassadors?
no, no, no. I don't work for Twitch. I just stream on them, and I they have me as one of their monetized streamers. I can't think of the word. um, Affiliates. I'm an affiliate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you have to get to a certain amount of people following you and
Yeah,
commenting.
you have all these milestones that you have to make. You have to stream consistently for a certain amount of time, have a certain amount of people engaging. You have to engage back, and then you get monetized at first, and then you get a bigger cut once you move to the next level, and the next level is where you want to be. So I'm working on it, but it's
That's
definitely
I know a lot of people. A lot of people might look down at that, but I think it does provide a service.
it does.
I think a lot of
Absolutely.
people. I definitely think that. I mean, we do the same thing here on the tube, except that we don't go 12 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Not that no one would ever catch me doing a 10-hour YouTube session.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. We're doing it. We're now getting on back on the Twitch stream. Um, yeah, I don't want to do 12-hour streams anymore. That was difficult and rough
Oh my
for
gosh.
sure.
Yeah, I don't want to. You don't have to look at my past videos to find me doing anything crazy like that. So
Yeah.
you can stop looking right now because that. Okay. Yeah, I did a couple of those. I did a couple. Okay, I was young. I was stupid. I just wanted to try it, see how it went. I did one. I think I did one for 10 hours.
Oh gosh. That's insane. That's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. All I know is that I went online, got on here, started talking. Then people start wanting to come up. Then they came up, and they're talking, and we just kept going and going. They would drop off, new people would come in, people would come inside
Mhm.
the chat, and before I know it, it was 10 hours, and I was like, "Where did it go?" Because it really felt like I just sat down.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets
Now,
like that.
Does that still happen for you? Or if you did a 10-hour or 12-hour shift, does that feel like at the end of the shift, does it feel like you just been there for like 20, 30 minutes, or do you start
I
feeling
mean, I love what I do, so that feels like it every day. And then when it's a shorter day, I want to be there more because I bartend too. Like my day job is bartending, and
okay?
I accidentally, well, not accidentally, I ended up doing a couple 8-hour shifts doubles. And usually you don't do that for this company, but they've been having me do it the last couple days, and it's been really fun. I don't get a break, but it means I get a lot of time and a half. And I
Right.
look at my watch, I realize it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and I've been there all day, and I'm gonna get off in the next couple hours. It's insane, but I love it. I think for me, because I do what I love, it's a lot easier, and it doesn't matter if I am there all day or not, because I would stay 12 hours and not have an issue.
Now you said you moved. Are you moved? I noticed it's L. Are you in Berkeley or are you in Las Vegas?
I am in the Bay Area. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you moved to then.
Yes. Yeah. I moved back to the Bay Area where I grew up. So
Oh, okay. What city did you grow up in the Bay Area?
I grew up in Livermore and Berkeley, and I
Okay.
moved back to near. Moved near Berkeley, so I'm pretty close. I'm like on the border of Berkeley, Albany, Oakland, all that.
My Uncle Larry lived in Livermore, so we used to go back there
Oh,
and visit
so you
him
know
once.
what it is.
Uh-huh. Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I lived in San Jose for 16 years.
Oh, cool. One of my jobs is next to San Jose. It's in Los Gatos.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Right,
yeah,
right on the baseline of the foothills of the Santa Cruz Mountains.
it is. I love Santa Cruz too. It's one of my
Santa
favorite
Cruz is
places.
fun.
Yeah.
I used to go to the Catalyst over there.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
Uh,
I have never been.
you never? Oh,
I mean,
I
I was
also
19 when I moved to Vegas, so I didn't get to do too much as a kid yet.
Right. Right. Uh, just curious. It's funny. I would think that most people would be moving from California to Vegas, but you moved the opposite.
I know
Um,
that's what all my friends said. They're like, "Wait, nobody moves back to California. That's like a whole week." I
uh,
mean,
uh, well, that must have been an interesting decision to make.
yeah, a lot of life stuff had happened that I can't legally get into, but a lot of life had happened, and I also had a lot of family deaths.
Mm,
And I've just been visiting all the time. That the more I came back, it's weird. When I first left, and like up until a few years ago, I spent a couple days, didn't want to come back, and then when in the last couple of years, every time I visited, I just want to stay longer and longer and come back more and more. And uh, I got kind of a job offer, and from a friend of mine that for the first job that I have here, he owns a restaurant. And I was just like, oh, you need more people because this is what I do in Vegas. He's like, well, actually, that's exactly what I need. So I said, hey, let's talk and figure out if we're a good fit. So it's worked out really well.
good.
It's been
Good.
very nice. Yeah.
I'm glad to see someone actually move back there because my family's back there still. My sisters they live in Concord and Santa Rosa or Petaluma respectively.
Okay.
And yeah, my dad lived in Vallejo for a while, well, all his life, and then like I said, I lived in San Jose for 16 years before I moved out to Michigan. So
Yeah.
it's crazy expensive out there though.
It's
Um,
weirdly about the same as Vegas, actually.
really, isn't that something?
Yeah. It really is. And it's easier to have a sustainable quality of life here than it was in Vegas. Because Vegas, everybody's going out. Everybody has to pay for everything. It's a lot more expensive. Everything's consumerism. Whereas here, like, of course, that's everywhere. But I don't have to go out to see my friends. Like, most of them want to sit at home or play video games or board games or whatever. And it's not nearly as expensive as it is to eat here either. Everything's farmers markets and not uh, crazy prices. It's a lot cheaper.
Right, right. I left the Bay Area in 1999.
Okay.
Actually 98. So I've been out here for over 25 years. Um,
Yeah.
and no, I have never looked over backwards. I had never looked at all. I was like, and then I saw all the prices going up, but I have so many fond memories of it. So I
Yeah.
I worked in Palo Alto for about 7 years. So
Oh, cool.
hi Betty, how are you? How are you? Now, now you said you were born in the Bay Area, so
Yeah.
that's a
Born and
good place to
raised.
that's a good place to live if you are becoming an artist. But what did you
Yeah.
come
It's so
to? You're
I have a
you're an
lot of
artist.
family that works in art too. So I'm pretty fortunate. Um, and most of my friends are actually getting their art out there now, which is fun. I get to see all my friends like releasing all their stuff. A lot of us are starting our own businesses out of it. And um, my aunt was actually at the DeYoung Museum. She's the reason why I got into art originally. And so she was just at the DeYoung Museum last summer. It was a Bay Area artist show from September to January, and it was this big project that got put off because of COVID. So she got put in there. She ended up selling her piece. She works for all these other artists in Sausalito, and uh, she's all over the Bay Area. So it's really easy for me. And when I go out, I get introduced to other artists and other shows at like midnight. That happened a couple weeks ago. That was a fun, interesting experience. But yeah, a lot of people here. Vegas is starting to get that kind of an art community, though. It's not there yet. It's what it was 20 years ago in the Bay Area, I would say.
So Vegas is still catching up.
Yeah, Vegas is trying. Vegas is trying.
Let me ask you this, Mandy. Do you think because you've lived in Vegas for a while,
Hmm.
do you think that the gaudy hotels that they throw up, do you think that's a thing of a past that they just keep on chasing after what used to be? I mean, are people? It seems like people are a lot more smarter these days, and they're not really. They don't do the hotels anymore. Do you think that we'll see that part of Vegas fade off?
There's a lot of other options, is I think what it is. And people don't have that kind of money, but they still want to go out. Um, so I think there's that. I used to work at the Aria, and it's a very specific type of people, like everyday people, even celebrities. It's a very specific experience they want to have. Now, I don't know if they're going to go away. I think they're going to become more futuristic. I think it's going to be a little bit more modernized. But everything has a need. So people that want to stay on Fremont know what they're staying on Fremont for, because they want to be close to the action. They want to be on a more cost-effective place. But like you said, people are a lot smarter now. And I also think people just don't have the money because of inflation and how expensive everything is now.
It's funny. It's that the cheapest thing in Vegas is the rooms. I mean,
Yep.
you can get room for like, you can get a room at Vegas at a hotel for like, less than $20. Well, plus all the amenities. But I mean, you basically, if you just tell them, look, I don't want anything else, just a room and a key. You can get a room for like a little over $20. But once you step outside, then it's like,
that's what I tell everybody. No matter what, you're going to pay for something.
I saw someone
paying it in one way.
I saw someone post their lunch. They had a slice of pizza and a Coke, and it cost them $42.
Yep. That's how much I spent on my groceries for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well,
that alone.
Unless they need to feed the cheetah, then I'd have to add another $40 on top of that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. People are saying it's more expensive out here, but that's usually the point that I make. Like, car insurance alone is a fifth. Like, I was paying almost $3,000 for 6 months for my car. I drive a Jeep. Out here, it was almost $600. It wasn't even $600 for 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that alone is cheaper.
They wanted $3,000 in Vegas for a car insurance.
Yeah, for 6 months for my Jeep. Yeah, and then because Jeep, well, all the car insurances are now going up. I actually just talked to a car insurance rep, a friend of mine, and she was saying that Vegas is now spiking their prices again. They're going through another huge inflation because it's such an issue, and it's absolutely insane. Whereas in the Bay Area, it's mainly potholes that we have to worry about. Like, of course, there's drunk drivers and there's people that don't know how to drive and whatever, but it's mainly potholes and traffic.
And Oakland.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm next to Oakland. I'm actually going to be going to Oakland later tonight. So, but yeah, it's weird. That's like the first thing. And then the second thing I noticed was the food. Like, it's fresher. It's not filled with preservatives because they have to ship it out, because all the food we eat in Vegas is from here in the Bay Area most of the time, but they have to put it on a truck, ship it out, and it's asinine. It's crazy how expensive it is. We don't really have taxes, but we pay way more for everything else.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
So the art now you're not only are you an artist, but you're also a writer. So which came first for you? Were you an artist first, or were you a writer first?
I want to, probably an artist, just because I've been doing art for my entire life, longer than I can remember, thanks to my aunt. But I started writing very young too. I started writing in elementary school like everybody else does, but then I started writing poetry, and I do a picture, write a poem, do a picture, write a, like, it'd always be back and forth. But what's weird is I was never a big reader until recently. So that was kind of the backwards for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's like I read like a fiend when I was really young. I mean, and then in my mid to late 20s, I had life, so I didn't get to read as much as I used to. Lately, I've been like that too. I've been reading. I'm doing a challenge. I'm trying to read 52 books in 52 weeks.
Ooh, I think I might start that challenge, because I've read a lot already. I'm trying to do 100 books this year, but I read a lot of I listen to a lot of audiobooks. So people are like,
I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't. Okay, so let me ask this for the chat. I'm going to bring the chat into this. So is audiobooks reading books? Is that the same as reading, or is
I also read actual books, but audiobook, I drive for 2 to 3 hours a day. So that's 3 hours that I lose time for reading.
Yeah. That's tough. That is tough. I know some people will put on an audiobook when they drive and whatnot. That's the way to keep it. But I don't know.
I also used to run a book club, and I say it does, and all my other book club people say it does.
I would have to reach over and talk to Sue and Allie to see if that is I don't know. I don't know. In fact, we'll see what the chat has to say. Well, we already know that Steven's going to be in your camp, so we already know that.
You listen to audiobooks when you sleep, but that's not reading because that doesn't count because you're not retaining any of the information. I mean, so I just had this conversation with a friend of mine where he said it's not the same because they've done these tests, blah, 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 doesn't activate the same parts of your brain. And I'm like, that's probably for normal people without like divergent brains. But also, I get it. But I'm like retaining it. I'll re-listen and I'll take notes. And if it's something that I like I'm very in the zone when I'm listening to my audiobooks because I'm driving through traffic and I'm choosing them with a purpose.
Now, I would actually go with audiobooks if they did one thing, and that is that they cast them like the old time radio shows. You know, instead of just having that one voice. No, I want if it's a cop, I want a different voice from the narrator. If there's a woman part, I want it to be read by a woman. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be acted, almost like enacted. I don't want
there's a few that do that. There are a few audiobooks, but that's more like podcasts. And there's a few series, which I would consider more podcasts than actual audiobooks. But they have a few like that. I think the first audiobook was actually a series of unfortunate events. This was years ago, and I was on a road trip, and it was voiced by all the different actors in it. And they would fluctuate their voice and different things. But I agree, like they do need different things. I don't listen to a lot of stories on my books, though, on my audiobooks. Those are usually the books that I actually read.
Let's see. Even saying that if you're driving, it's sometimes better than a movie too. And he says he listens to audiobooks when I sleep. I listen to white noise as well, and I listen to radio dramas. I listen to a lot of Dragnet, a lot of Gunsmoke. I listen to some weird stuff. I see they're okay. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember this. Maybe the guys in the chat here will also remember this. So, remember the old remember you know what a PSA is, right? Public service.
Yeah. Oh, I used to work in radio. I know. Yeah, I know all about it.
So remember the old Partnership for Drug-Free America?
No.
Oh my gosh, they had some of the craziest ads. The one with the dad with the little boy saying, "Where'd you learn this? Where'd you learn how to do this?" And the kid looks at his dad and said, "I learned it from you." There's the one with Rachel Lee Cook smashing an egg. This is your brain. Man. So anyway, somebody made a giant collection of 5.5 hours of every PSA that they made.
Oh, jeez.
Try falling, and that's what I fall asleep to. It's weird as hell, but
that's interesting.
It's an amazing block of radio, and it's on the tube.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. So you listen to so you're reading write I like the contrast. You would write and then you would paint or draw. Yeah. As far as your art goes, were you a drawer first or a painter?
I've never been great at drawing. Always painting though. I've always been good at sketching and painting. So I mean, like any kid, you do like a sun, some people standing, put a house. But I always do detail. Like right now, I'm working on the details, doing an anatomical heart. It looks like a 5-year-old did it right now. But that was always my forte, was just really intense details. And I think that's what sets my stuff into my own niche, because a lot of people will do, like Banksy, for example. Not that I'm anywhere near Banksy, but he does very flat, pretty modern pieces where it's just a person and colors. There's not any intricacies in it, which is what I specialize in.
Well, let me ask you this, Mandy. What separates your art? Why is his art considered so much more than your art? I mean, I can look at his, and I can see a couple of his in my mind's eye, and I've seen other artists, and quite honestly, I don't understand it.
His is just political. His has a niche in politics, is why people like it, I think.
That really basically is it, isn't it? It isn't because his technique is special. It's just because it's political.
And good marketing. Very good marketing.
Yeah. So it's not that it's an absolutely holy cow. It's like a Renoir, or Da Vinci. It's just because it's I guess it's what marketing art.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just never got why it was so like, oh my God, it's a Banksy. And then they want to cut it, then they want to cut the building around
Oh
it.
yeah, I saw that.
It's like, Jesus, it's okay, but it's not all that. But of
It's a
course,
piece of art.
yeah, and of course, art is the most subjective of all cultural. I think that's probably the most subjective of all the cultural arts, art
Yeah.
disciplines. Um, So okay, so now you're in your teens. You're drawing. You're starting to do poetry. Did you ever do any spoken? Did you ever do any spoken
Open
word
mics.
or open mic shows?
I did in Vegas. I went to a couple, mainly at Rebar. They have them on Wednesdays, and it's a really good crowd. Everybody's very supportive. It's very packed. So I've done it in Vegas. I haven't done much in like the Bay Area yet, but I'm looking into it, trying to find things that are on my schedule, I should say. But I have, yes.
It used to be there would be a lot of places in the Bay Area for open mics.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot.
And I'm kind of in the Mecca. I'm in a
I'm
good
not.
area.
I'm just not sure what it's like now. Like I know that
Yeah.
they used to have it. They used to have like poetry, a starry plow, but I'm not even sure if the starry plow's still with us.
Story Plow is here, so Story Plow is
Okay.
down the street for me. I haven't been there yet, but they still
Oh,
have it. I think it's on Mondays or Tuesdays. It's on a day that I can go. I want to say it's on a Monday or Tuesday.
what do they do on the weekends?
Sunday they have Irish music. Mondays they have Irish dancing. So maybe it's Tuesday or Wednesday that they do spoken word open mic.
Wow, they got away from live music then.
I mean, they have it on the weekends. They have live music.
Okay,
Yeah,
they have some fantastic bands that roll through there. If you're into
yeah.
live music, you'll love the Starry Plow.
Oh yeah. I keep looking at it. It keeps popping up, and now you're bringing it up. I need to go there at some point.
Now, have you gone to San Francisco yet since you moved to Berkeley?
A few times, yeah. I actually went. I had a friend come visit me right after I moved, and I took her to San Francisco. We kind of ventured around, and I I haven't done too much venturing in like a local sense. I
Right.
want to find more thrift stores and vintage stores and antiques, but I haven't. I've kind of gauged it. It's not. It's not what it used to be out here.
No, that's gonna no. Shit. I mean, their idea of a thrift store now will probably be what a mainstream store is anywhere else.
Yeah, I went to one near another Irish bar, and they like you couldn't bring a person, and there was some glasses that should have been priced for like $15-$20. They had a price for like 60. I remember that specifically because I'm looking for wine glasses, and I window shopped and I looked underneath, and I looked at my friend. I'm like, who the heck is going to price that much? Like, who's going to spend that much? I'm sure somebody will, but not me because I know how much those are worth, and that is not how much they're worth.
Was it a Goodwill?
No, it was like a store near Little China or
Uh,
Chinatown. Yeah,
what do you look for when you go thrifting? I mean,
just
houseware
I
items, or do
look.
you look for books, or
I
music,
look at
or
everything. I look at everything, absolutely everything. You never know what you're gonna find. I have a few porcelain dolls, which I was never into porcelain dolls, but now I have a couple. I have a few vintage books. I have a huge record collection. Like I have probably close to 300 records, plus or minus a few.
Nice.
And I've been collecting those for 15 years. I bought 4 this year when I first moved back, and about a month ago I bought them, but I haven't bought any since I moved to Vegas. So it's been a pretty big collection for a long time. And
Man,
then yeah,
they
and people will give me stuff that they're trying to get rid of. They say, "Hey, I have this. It made me think of you," and it's usually something old or antique or weird and stuff. So I have 4 vintage books. So I have a first edition of The Art of Happiness. I have a 60s print of the poetry of John Donne. I have I think it's probably 100 years old now. It was the first vintage book. My dad gave it to me. He had it from a costume class he took in high school or college. He said, "Here, do you want this?" Because I was all about fashion and stuff. So that was the first one. And then I have a couple others, but I can't think of them.
Stephen wanted to know a question. He wants to know how long did it take for your neck tattoo?
For the neck tattoo, it took probably an hour for the tree, but the butterfly was probably 2 hours. The only reason it took 2 hours is because we did it in my kitchen. We took this, so we took this chair downstairs because it leans all the way back, and we tried to do it in the chair. It kept moving back and forth. So then we took everything off of my kitchen island, laid down and set it up, and just banged it out. So yeah, this is my butterfly was about 2 hours. The tree around it was another hour because I was a separate artist. And yeah, it was worth it. Well worth it. Ooh,
all right. Yeah. I wonder if that's the cow train.
It is, but I was going to mute because it can get loud. And that's why I have a bunch of noise canceling. I need to get more panels.
Cow train. I can take that to work.
Yeah, it's Amtrak. It's right outside from my house.
Okay. So you did some open mic reading. What was it like for you the first time that you read your creation in front of the public?
It was really cool. I think the first time I did it in Vegas, it was actually about a year ago, the first time I did it in Vegas. And it was really awesome. I had wanted to for a long time. I had a poem that I wanted to read, and I had just started working on my second book at the time. So yeah, I read an excerpt from it, and everybody was all excited. They loved it, and it was pretty cool. It was very heartwarming.
Oh, isn't that something else? Now, I just can tell this. I can tell this about you. You did that you just walked up and did it, didn't you?
I mean, I had to sign up, but yeah, essentially, I saw that it was a thing, and I was, it was one of the things that I wanted to start getting into was open mic and spoken word, and I'd been looking for places for a while, and I'm glad I found that because it is a good community too.
The reason I mentioned it is because I used to work at a club, and we used to host open mics on Mondays. And
oh, cool.
What really surprised me more than anything else was all these really, really good writers and all these really good poets. And I read their books and bought a few actually. And what really shocked me was the fact that they would have to get half hammered to go up there to read.
Yeah, not me. I've been performing for so long that stage fright's not a big thing for me.
Yeah, I never thought about that stage fright, being stage fright, because I would see them every time in different readings and around town, and then all of a sudden it's like, why are they still doing that? I mean, they know. I mean, they come to the show, they sign up, they know they're going on, they know they got their piece there, and yet there they are, back at the bar, and they're like
getting absolutely sloshed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been that person. I dropped my charcoal, but I see why people do it because it is. I mean, it's your passion. You're putting your piece in whatever heart and soul you put out into the world just to get feedback or whatever. And some people can be mean. It's definitely strenuous mentally. I actually had a friend that joined me that night, and he was like, I kind of want to do this because he acts. And so we did a monologue, and he was the last person on stage and was so drunk. I remember he just kept pounding them back, and it was he did good. He was very passionate, but you could tell that he was not sober.
Well, people, you know what? People accepted Bukowski doing it, so why not him?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it always amazes me when I hear people talk about Bukowski like he's some sort of a poetry god. And I'm like, I don't know what frustrates me a little bit about that, and maybe you can explain this too from an artist's point of view. But have you ever met somebody so talented? You look at their skills and they're it's just innate to them. It's natural. There, it just flows. Words either flow, or the paint flows, or the charcoal, whatever it may be, and it flows, and they make it seem so easy, but yet they turn around and they self-destruct with their behaviors.
A lot of
Is that
artists are tortured souls.
Yeah, but do you feel like you're a tortured soul? Because I'm not reading that at all. I feel like
I
you're.
have been tortured. I'm just not jaded. I think the difference is being jaded or not, and letting people know your weaknesses. But I try to be authentic. I try to be very open, which some people think I'm tortured. Some people think I don't. Like, I've had a very screwed up life and torturous life, but
But you didn't
I've
let
also
that
found
define you.
outlets. Huh?
But you didn't let that define you.
I think it's going to make me regardless. It's going to define some part of my life, but I think it's my job. So actually, I was reading one of the books that I recently read. It's all about responsibility. It's not my responsibility to make somebody treat me well, but it is my responsibility to react that way. It's not my responsibility to give $1 to some homeless person on the side of the street. But if they're hungry and they want water, I take that responsibility of, can I get them water? Can I get them something? Like, if I have the means, I've been in really bad situations. Why not? Like, the world is so hard anyways,
Right.
that it did kind of define me, but not in a negative way. And I can be negative. I can be jaded in some sense, but that's one thing is you need empathy and compassion. And usually the lack thereof is what's affected me and what affects a lot of other people. And so why not be that? It's the whole cliche, be the change you want to see in the world, but actually do it.
So how do you take steps as far as that goes? Because people with jaded personalities, sometimes that can really blunt or even destroy the talent that they have. So how do you maintain your balance between jaded and not let it affect your creative side?
I give myself a lot of grace because I'm human. We all make mistakes. We all do bad things. I'm not perfect to everybody. A lot of people can probably say some bad things about me, and I could say a lot of bad things about other people, but it's not my job. It's not my responsibility, or it's nobody's business. It's not my business. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's not my business to care about what other people are thinking of me if it's not going to have an effect on my life. No. And if it does, and I'm being very self-destructive, everybody has self-destructive behaviors, and that's where it comes into play of what can I do to be better. It's more a matter of mindfulness, I would say, and giving myself grace, and the people around me, giving them grace. And I'm very fortunate for the friends and family that I have, because we're very vocal on, hey, this isn't a good pattern you're doing, or this is kind of going down the wrong path. Are you sure you want to do that? Or do you want to, somebody drinks too much, do you want to ride home? Very, very basic friendship stuff. But
well, a lot of people just, they don't even think about it, offering someone a ride home, most of the time it's just like, they don't think, they just, I'm okay. And then they say, okay. But I like to think more people now are trying not to let that happen. Cause you definitely don't want to carry that on your shoulders. If somebody gets hurt or killed.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's not your family member or your friend, they still have that responsibility. And then that falls back down to us,
Yeah.
Do you when you're in a dark spot, or whatnot, how do you work it with your art? Do you what's the art of choice for you during a black spot? Is it a drawing? Is it writing? Because you have written books.
Yeah, I've written one book published. I'm writing my second and third, but I am a machine. I always have things that come to mind that I don't want to forget. So the way this is my secret, and I tell everybody this is how I write my books, is if I have an idea or something that would be really cool in a poem, I just text it to myself, because that's just going to be stuck in my phone. I'll never lose it. And if I need to sit down and paint, like I'm sketching, and that's, if I'm just having a really sad day or down day, I'll get something out of my system. But it really depends on what mood I'm in, what I'm feeling. Because writing takes a lot. I have to write it. I physically write. I don't type it out. I physically write in a book. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm old school. I'm very old school, and I like to keep the book for for later on. But
Of course.
yeah, that is how I go, I guess. It really depends.
You have something I've mentioned on the show many times before, but I bet you have one for real. And if you do, it's probably not here with you, but I'm sure that you could probably take a picture of it. But you have an old fashioned writer's chest, I take it.
I actually have. I don't have that, but I do have. I can show you behind me. I have. It's like a hutch, but it drops down. So the little yellow panel right there drops down into a writer's desk.
And you have your so you don't have a proper, you don't have an old fashioned writer's chest where
No,
you
that's mahogany, and my aunt painted it yellow, so it's now a family project. But it kind of is. It's not an old writer's desk, but it's probably from like the 60s, 50s. It's very, very well made.
I just love I love the writer's chest because it's like, because then you go back and you go take out old work and you look at it, and like writers always say like there's a rainy day there, and it's like, as long as you're not getting flooded in a torrential rain in California.
Yeah.
But you can grab an old work and take it upstairs with a cup of tea and start working on it, and like something from 10 years ago, but you can come back and revisit it. I know a lot of writers do that. I mean, it's so cool to hear that. Most of the time, you always see, they always show in the movies where the writer's writing, and then they'll crumple up the word and throw the paper, and they say, next thing you know, they got like that.
I do that. I absolutely do that.
You really do that, really?
I do.
I don't know any writer that does that. I know a lot of writers that will sit there and look at it, and they'll put it aside. They'll sit there because they'll say, "There's something good in here. I just got to find it."
It depends on what it is. It depends,
right.
But I like having the crisp sheet, and like if I find something that I'm really going to get into, I'll do it. But if it's something that I'm never going to come back to, I'll let it sit for a little bit. Or if it just irks me, there's something wrong with it, it's not doing well, I just toss it aside. It's fine. Sometimes I just have to get it out and throw it away.
So tell us about your first book that was published.
So I published it on Amazon, and I am now looking at publishing companies to help me market better. But it's a poetry book, and it's, I want to say about 250, 260 pages. And
a poem?
Yeah, poems. Yeah. Wow. It was about my getting out of my marriage and being in a women's shelter and kind of getting back to being a normal person. And it's really intense.
Do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer as many questions as I can. There's some that I can't, but
yeah, sure, yeah, because of the legal aspects of it.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing what we find, that what takes us to places for us to become creative? Isn't it mind blowing? And here you are at a women's shelter, and you would think that the last thing anybody would be in that situation would be creative and to be inspired by, and then next thing you know, you're doing that. You're sitting there in a quiet space and you're writing. And I only say that because I don't think it's fair for me to ask you to share without me sharing a little bit too. And that is, I do this show. This is my creative. This is my canvas, and I had to do that because I was once in that place. Well, still am in that place. That dark place, that sad place. And I find myself inspired by talking to other people, to hear their stories, and that's what gets me out of that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
just find sometimes I'll sit here and I'll be talking, and I'm just thinking to myself, going like, here I am trying to get out of this dark spot, and the best way for me to do it is talk to Mandi. Mandi and I are talking. Here we are. Mandi and I are talking, and we're sharing our experiences, and it's creative, and it's cleansing.
And Yeah.
maybe not for you, but for my side of it, that's how it is for me. For you, it's definitely different.
I'm
I
so
definitely,
happy.
yeah.
No, that's what I want to do for people is help them heal and feel better about themselves or whatever they're going through. If it's not, just take their mind off it and let them know that they're wanted. They're definitely here for a reason. And I hear you. I'm glad that that's how it is for you. It's very
Uh,
healing.
well, did you have somebody in some of those, what's more easier to write in? Is it more easier to write poetry in a place of light or a place of darkness? Because I've heard
So
people talking. I've talked to a lot of poets, and they have different answers. But I'd like to hear
I
what
was
you.
just thinking about this like a minute ago when we first got into this conversation, and I think a lot more people talk from a place of darkness, but I mean, poetry is very abstract. It's how you read it and how you interpret it, right? I write from all moods, and that's if something pops in my mind, I'll put it in words and put it in my phone to save for later, and then I'll sit down, write, and just scroll through my texts myself. That's how I do it. But then I put myself in the place of what was I doing when I was thinking of that? Was I listening to a song? Was I going on a hike? Was I just driving? Or was I working? And I just thought of this thing because I've had some very niche jobs. I listen to a lot of music all the time. And I have to
Yeah,
put myself in that position again. And for me, it's any emotion can evoke something out of love, out of joy, out of trauma. Um, it's really for you. But for people that, like you and I, that have had to deal with a lot of mental health stuff, um, being happy and is, for me personally, it's not necessarily a goal. It's just a feeling that I wasn't very used to as a child or as a young adult. And now that I'm in my 30s, and I found peace and I found some sort of contentment. I realized that is what happiness is. It's not a matter of um, everything being perfect and everything being right. It's just finding a sense of peace and acceptance of what's happening and what you can and can't control. And uh, for poetry, I've learned to write from all aspects because a lot of people start out of hurt, but they have to go through the healing process to get to another place. And sometimes tortured writers and tortured artists don't want to lose that hurt because they think their best work comes from that. When in
yeah. I
reality,
think so. I think you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And what's really sad about that is like sometimes people just feel like they have to walk inside that stereotype of being a tortured artist, like
yeah.
and it's like it's heartbreaking actually. Like
Hmm.
like getting sauce before they go up there to do an open mic. I had a good friend of mine who was a very talented blues player. His name was Lee
Hmm.
Mazzone, and he was really good. I mean, he was really good. But by God, if he didn't fall into that same old tired ass blues musician trope, and that is you know what that is, right?
Yeah, yeah. Getting into alcohol, drinking too much, always up late at night.
For the blues artists, their poison of choice um, was heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened. He was, well, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, like, I used to sit there and talk, and he wasn't a young cat. He was, he knew better, and he and I would just sit there and talk and talk and talk. I came out here, and next thing you know, someone sent me an email saying, "Hey, man, Lee's gone," and I went and read, and then here he had an overdose, and I was
Wow.
like, he didn't use when I knew him. He never touched the stuff. In fact, he didn't even drink.
Well, and that's a big problem right now is it's all drugs right now. And I get for my age group, everybody's into Coke. Everybody likes Coke. Everybody just they love it.
Really,
Yeah, it's huge right now. It's crazy. I mean, people still do heroin and other things, but I I always say no, and then they keep pushing it. And the way I get them to leave me alone is because I have to tell them, hey, I have a pacemaker. I really can't do this because I don't want to have a heart attack again. I'm like, have fun. I'll be your sobriety person. I will take you wherever you need to
Mhm.
go, but I can't do it. I'm not going to judge. Everybody has their issues. Just get help. But
Right.
I and people that do coke tend to be very pushy about it. Why aren't you doing it? Are you cool? Whatever. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I've never wanted to do it.
No.
I don't know.
It has
But it's
nothing. It's just frustrating for me when I see that, that people feel like they have to go that route to get in
yeah.
touch with their inner creativity. It's like you don't. You
Mhm.
really don't. But I'm impressed as hell at the fact that you did 260 pages worth of poems. That is like
I'm
that's
doing it
like
again. I'm working on it
that
again.
that is like absolutely most poets they would be sitting there looking at you and going like, I hate you so much right now because it's hard as hell to write just
It
a
is
one
hard.
poem.
I mean, you just sit and write one. You have like a line come to like some sort of line in your like today. What did my most recent one? I haven't actually written anything out of it, but my most recent one was happiness and intelligence. What's going to come out of it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but that's what came to my mind. I thought it'd probably be a cool poem, and we'll see what happens.
What do you think is your favorite subject to write about? I mean, what emotion is written about? What emotion or feeling inspires you the most to write? I mean, is it I know I said light and dark, but emotion wise, I mean, do you write better when you're angry? Do you write better when you're calm? Is it how does video games play into your creativity?
So
That's a
the
good
first
question.
part for the writing, I think I always find some sort of Zen mode, like some sort of peace. I sit down, I do it. I grab like tea and put on a candle, and I'll listen to music while I'm doing it. But I have to be in the zone. Like for me, it's working now, so I have to like work and do it. So I have to find a time to like sit and concentrate. The ADHD goes really hard. For video games, though, it's the same thing. I have ADHD, so I need something to like stimulate my brain and kind of go numb, not have to think about anything else. And like, so when I do a sim stream, I have a storyline going. Um, but for Minecraft, I'm building and I'm creating. So it's still a creative aspect. Um, and then when I'm playing video games, I'm terrible. Like my original stream name was Mandi Sexy Gaming. It's not anymore because everything's Mandi Raven. But that was the whole point of the show was I'm terrible and we all need somewhere to laugh. So that's, during COVID, we all needed something to laugh at. And that's how it started, was getting some sort of comedic relief out of the tortures of being a human.
Now, you're one of the few writers I've met that that I actually know who your muse is before I even ask the question. I know who your muse is, and let's talk about your muse. Um,
Oh man,
you know
everything.
that, huh?
Life is my muse. I've
Really?
been my own muse. My trauma's been my muse. My kids have been my muse. The
I,
guys
I
that
was
I've
act-
dated.
I was actually thinking Chewbacca.
My cat. No, he's my Xanax. He's the one
Uh,
that calms me.
so tell us a little bit about Chewbacca.
Oh
I
man,
saved
where
that for
is
you
Chewy?
guys. I saved you guys. I
Chewy, come
saved that for you.
here. Sometimes he comes and I call him. So Chewy is my cat. He is the mascot for my stream,
Uh-huh.
and he was actually my wedding gift for my ex-husband. And yeah, I've had him for 11 years now, almost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 10
Now,
years.
now
Yeah,
if you
10.
look
I
at
got
it,
him. I got him when he was still kind of a kitten, and then he
uh-huh.
turned a year right after. And yeah, I've had him ever since. He's gone on many moves, many adventures, and now he's here. He's with me.
And just curious, what color is Chewy?
Orange. I don't know where he is right now. He's probably hiding somewhere sleeping. He's probably on my bed sleeping.
Uh,
He's orange. He's a redhead. And I'm a
uh,
natural redhead. So that's why my ex-husband picked him out, because he had never been a cat person, never liked cats. But
you
we
never like
didn't want a
cats?
dog. Huh?
You never like cats?
My ex-husband did. So
Oh,
he
okay.
never, but a cat was more feasible for us than a dog. So we got a cat together, and I got him a gun for his wedding gift. He got me a cat, and was
I
our gifts to
definitely,
each other.
I
Very.
definitely think he came out of the better end of the deal.
I came out with a better end. I definitely did, because he got me a gun later on for Mother's Day, but I got my cat. He's the best. He's a good one.
Now, if you look on your screen there, up in the corner, you'll
I
see my group.
see. Yeah.
That's the cheetah right there. That's Paladin.
Cute.
Yep, he's like 35% cheetah and the rest domestic cat. But
Cool.
he's got the skills and the claws to prove it. I didn't know this. I learned this today. I learned this fun fact today, boys and girls. I learned that cheetahs actually hold grudges. If you make a cheetah mad, they hold a grudge. I didn't
That's
know
cool.
that. I thought as soon as a cat, as soon as a cat or but no, if you do something that they don't like, and they will remember you for that, and they may not like you very much for it afterwards. I did not know that. I'm like, that's the most
Yeah.
human thing. That's the most human
Yeah.
thing. Luckily,
Cats are insane.
oh,
My
they
cat
are.
definitely holds grudges. 100% holds
Definitely.
grudges. Absolutely. Cats are smart though. Cats and dogs, they both hold grudges. Like they know who's gonna feed them. They know who to trust. My Chewy's has set 2 people ever. My ex-husband and another guy that I dated. And that's it. Everybody else, like if I take him out, he'll be fine. He really likes kids because he's always had kids around. But if something happens, he just does not come out. He'll go hide. He'll sit in this is his hiding window, and he just won't do anything. If he sees me on the computer, he knows it's time to video game. He's going to get attention, and he'll be shown off. But yeah, it's quite funny. It usually takes him a couple hours to realize what's happening, and then he runs up. I'm surprised he's not here.
How did you get involved in video games? Like for one thing, I could never play my games when my wife was home. That wouldn't happen because I'm a really calm guy. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put on Madden or I put on college football, man, I mean, there'd be times where I'd be doing one without a body experiences, looking at my ass playing. I'm wondering who is that? And down there in the chair with the remote control was the guy going like, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, I hear you. So my dad actually works in computers. He got me into games in general. Like I play a lot of D&D and tabletop RPGs. Nice. And then my brother got it. I'm from the generation that all these new video game consoles were coming out and being pumped out all the time. So my brother would get them for Christmas. I would ask for them, but my brother would get them. And so we would just play together, and that's kind of how it started. It wasn't anything. It's like most people my age. It was just always out there. I was also grounded a lot as a kid, so I didn't have anything else to do.
You were grounded a lot?
I was grounded a lot as a kid. But
should we ask why, or should we err on this?
I was a problematic child. My mom didn't know how to handle me. I had a lot of ADHD and trauma, and I just I got in trouble a lot. I never got in a fight or anything, but my brother and I fought a lot, and as brothers and sisters do. I don't think, even looking back, as now that I have kids, the things that I did, I still don't think that they were bad enough to get grounded, but it's my parents' choice.
How does motherhood come into your creativity, into your art, into your words? Do you write about your experience as a mother in your poems?
I do. So my first one, it's about us being in the women's shelter together. But I kind of keep my motherhood and my kids to their own. Like I have one of my kids' names on my arm that I want to get covered because I do so much public now. But everything I do, I have them in the front of my brain. So everything I do, it's for them at some point. Like I want to build an empire that's going to set them up for their future and never have to worry. They can do whatever dream they want to do. But it's a lot of work. So there's only, but I try to keep them because it's their own prerogative to be in any sort of limelight. Like I don't ever want to speak on their experiences or their lives because they're humans too. Like they're people. Why, it's their choice. So they used to stream with me. They're with their dad now, but they used to stream with me. They'd come online. We'd play video games. It was a lot of fun. And it was funny because I remember the first time my oldest came on and a couple of my main people in my Twitch group, they came on, he commented on the chat and he's like, I don't like kids, but I really like your kids. This is fun. And so we just started doing it as a thing. Every time I'd have them over and we just play whatever they want to play, Minecraft, Roblox. I teach them a new game. They teach me how to play something. And but they also have Twitch and they have YouTube to watch all the time. So they have all these other things that they want to be a streamer and social media now.
So who got you into Twitch? I mean, was that, you said pandemic, but did you have any
Well,
friends that were doing it beforehand?
so I did. So I originally wanted to do Twitch for a while before pandemic, like before I got divorced, and then I just didn't have a good computer and nothing was set up correctly. And I was right after pandemic, like towards the end, it was like spring of 2021. I met this great group of people, and a couple of them Twitch stream and play all these video games. So one of them came over, helped me set up, see what was going wrong, and now I'm here. Now I stream. It just took one person, and it's hard because a lot of people, I'd ask other friends that Twitch streamed, and nobody was really helpful. They were just like, "Oh, you just got to set your settings up. You just got to do this. You got to do that." And this one person came over and sat down, looked at my settings, figured out why I was having issues and why it would just never work. It was like this weird wall that I couldn't get past. And once he did that, he became one of my he was one of my stream managers for a bit. And yeah, I was very fortunate to find those people. And I always vowed never to gatekeep. That's what it was. I always promised never to gatekeep like the other people had, because there's room for everybody. There's absolutely room for everybody.
Sure, there definitely is. The professor mentions here, I have a friend who owned a cat, and she had a sixth sense about her. If their cat didn't like a person, it usually turned out that the person was not a nice person. Yeah,
Yep.
that's true. Cats are awesome detectors for that.
Yep, that's
And
exactly what cats do.
he also mentions, I'm the same way with my gremlins. I try to keep them and their lives separate from the madness that is macabre, and that is a lot. There's a lot of madness, I'll tell you that. All right.
There definitely is.
Yeah, I thought I'd spring that Chewbacca one on you, because I saw the picture of it, and I'm going like, because
I post them all the time.
I'm all about orange and white and orange.
Yeah, I posted him. I post him all the time. He's the mascot for all my stuff. I have no idea where. Usually, I can see him from right here, and he's sitting on the couch. I think he's in my room.
Probably sleeping underneath the blanket.
He sleeps next to me on the bed. So I have like a king size bed, right? I sleep on one. He sleeps on that next pillow next to me. Sometimes he'll lay on the bed and put his head on the pillow. It's really funny. Or he'll like curl up in front of me. That's his three things.
He'll curl up in my arm, like in my armpit, and he'll sleep there, or he'll go back down underneath the blanket and he'll get behind my knees and he'll sleep there. And yeah, and he loves under the blanket. Boy, that's his jam right there. So and every time I come inside there, I always sit there and say, "Is there a cheetah in the house?" And I'll hear this little chirp coming out there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, mine chirps too. I have no. Usually he comes when I call him. Chewy, come here.
Maybe shake the bag of temptations.
I know that's all the way over there. I just fed him.
Is it temptation?
It's not temptation. It's this CBD catnip thing. I don't think it's CBD. I think it's just catnip. It might be.
Yeah, he Paladin. That's his jam is turkey treats from Temptations.
Yeah.
That's like crack for cats. I'm telling you.
Oh, I know. I used to do that. Anytime he'd he would disappear or something, I would shake the bag too, and he'd just come running in.
He does that for catnip. Like
yeah,
he'll come running for catnip.
Mine's not a big catnip person. I have to put it in his food or like in his scratcher, and then he'll start.
Yeah, he'll eat it. I'll put a little bound there, and he'll eat it, and then he's good. But he never flops on it and goes crazy. He does do zoomies at night, but that's not catnip related.
Yeah, mine had zoomies a couple of days ago. And he was just it was before I went to work yesterday. It was like 1 p.m. I'm getting ready. I'm headed out the door. And I see him chasing back and forth, just nothing, and just going back and forth. Whatever, dude. You have fun with your imaginary friends.
Now, do you as far as the gaming goes, you mentioned the board games. Do you still do board games, Dungeons and Dragons? That seems to be making a comeback.
I mean, that's an RPG. I'm actually starting a new campaign tomorrow, and we're talking about doing it as a podcast. Because there's nobody our age doing it, and we have this whole niche that we're going to do. So I'm very excited for it. It's one of my longest friends, her boyfriend, and another friend of theirs here in the Bay Area. And I'm very excited.
Yeah,
The
that's fun.
Yeah, well, one of them, so the friend that I just made, not my friend's boyfriend, but the other guy, the one that's DMing, he just started his own business for recording because he's been doing videography and audio recording forever. So he just started his own business. I just started mine. And we were all talking. We're like, well, why don't we just combine this? And so now it might be my first partnership. I'm very excited. But we start tomorrow. We're actually starting a new campaign.
What's your favorite video game? What's your favorite video game that you've played in? And you mentioned that the Twitch thing about people not being very helpful. Is that a platform thing? Have you discovered that?
I don't know. I think maybe I wasn't answering the right questions or I wasn't asking the right people. But I was told that that is a thing. Like when I was talking to my friend that helped me, he was saying that is a thing for people. And it's just in general, a streamer in general, social media, everybody thinks everyone's competing when I'm not competing with anybody. I'm competing with myself. I'm doing this because I want to have fun and experience this and build a life for myself off of it, work for myself. But the video games, I play every type of video game. Like I started off with League of Legends and
That's it. We're getting you on Madden.
Sorry, I got a phone call from one of my lawyers just now. He like hung up, but I got I do mainly Dead by Daylight. League of Legends is how I started. A lot of my Twitch streaming friends play a lot of Smite instead, so I've been kind of touching on that. But a lot of times I leave it to my stream, like my actual viewers, because there's something that they want to see that they haven't played. So why not do that? Why not show it? Why not play whatever game just came out? So I need to get into Diablo and Baldur's Gate, but those are more along the lines that I play RPGs. RPGs and creative types.
It's hard to play a game like that and to maintain your like it's like we're doing here. We're talking and then I'm looking at the chat, but what we're doing is extremely slow compared to what a gamer handles on Twitch. So is it hard? I mean, how hard is it for you to play the game and play it well and to still maintain your audience? Is that difficult? That's just something you learn by repetitiveness.
I think it's inherent because like I said, I used to work in radio and I didn't like working for mass media, so that's why I originally left. But I think I have a very specific niche where everybody's wholesome, everybody's welcoming. If there's anything that's not good, we have a zero tolerance policy. And sometimes people mess up. They say something they don't mean for it to come off rude. So, but we're pretty, hey, that wasn't cool, man. What are you doing? And then leave it be. I also welcome viewers to play with me, whatever game I'm playing, if it's multi-person, but yeah.
That can be fun.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun. I've actually made some good friends that way.
What's it like to, now do you have people that go you have, how many followers do you have on your channel?
Ooh, I can tell you right now. How many followers do I have? Let me log in. 188 on Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long you've been doing? How many years have you doing Twitch? And are you very selective with who you let follow? I mean, 188 doesn't sound like a lot.
No, it's not a lot for Twitch because I honestly haven't streamed in 6 months about, and I've just been going through a whole rebranding and trying to get this situated so that way I could sit and focus on it more. And I would always have other people play. And my growth record was pretty quick. Like a lot quicker than most people. If I had been consistent and I had a set schedule and I was doing it every day for the last 6 months, I would probably be in the thousands, but life doesn't happen. I didn't have anywhere to stream for the last 6 months. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know what though? Those 188, that's a good starting point. And when you do come back and launch, I mean, relaunch them, they'll be there. And That's one thing too. Let me ask you this weird question, because speaking from a YouTuber to a Twitcher, why do you think that the followers of each side don't follow the other? Like like we're doing this interview here, you let your Twitch friends know that, hey, if you want to see,
Yeah, I'm
if you
doing
want to
this.
know me, if you want to get a chance to know me, Mandi, as the person, come on over
Yeah,
to this over here. But for the love of God, they don't happen. And
I
same
know.
thing, like hey, I'm streaming, I'm twitching over here, I'm playing this new hot video game, and you do that to YouTube, and come on over and come on in and hang out, and they don't do it. Why do you think
Yeah,
that is? We have a hard time cross promoting.
I think. I mean, for one, it's repetitive. Like you have to be consistently in it, but people watch YouTube for one thing and Twitch for something else. Like Twitch, you're getting interaction more times than not, and you're just watching people play video games. You're learning something. And for me, I think there's a way to be on all platforms, whether it's so you reach a larger audience, where Twitch goes to YouTube, but you cut it into clips, which you can do that on Twitch. People are going to watch it that way. But on YouTube, there was one of the first people that I watched on Twitch that actually got me into thinking of it as a real platform for myself was I was a big YouTube watcher, watched it all the time. And this guy that does Sims would do the stream on Twitch and then chop it up and just explain what he was going through on YouTube. So he's doing this whole build, have people interactive with it. And then when he would show it on YouTube, it would be an actual video with a voiceover explaining what he was building and the process and what he chose. And I think they're just two different platforms for different needs is the main thing.
Professor Macabro just let us know. The good professor let us know that you now have 189 subs.
Thanks.
Right, that's right. The
Thank you, Professor.
professor in the house.
Yeah.
I have never done Twitch, so but what I can do is I can actually probably sign up and go over there and ping that button, so at least you get another one, because the more the merrier, right?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I think also Twitch sends a lot of notifications which gets really annoying. Like I had to delete it from my phone while I was heavily in Twitch, like actually monetizing, doing things. Like I'm still monetized. It was all the time I was getting notifications. I had to turn off my Discord. That was Caltrans. That
Yeah,
one
I
was
was gonna say,
Caltrans.
I recognize you. I recognize.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
have the Amtrak, I have Caltrans, I have Bart's
Smart.
that walk from me. And then I have the trains that bring all the produce back
Oh,
and forth.
are you close to any light rail? That's still probably way down in Milpitas still, right?
I think I do have a light rail next to me. I'm not sure. My
Oh, okay.
aunt's by the docks, the pier and ferries over in Jack London. So they basically stop at her and then come here and stop at me. So my cousins will take it back and forth. It's like a 40-minute train ride, if that.
Just tell everybody that wants to thinks about jumping off the dock by Jack London, jump in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. You are now in the red triangle.
No. I will sit on that pier. Would never touch the water if you could not pay me enough.
You know what the red triangle is, right?
The red triangle. No, what's the red triangle?
Well, the red triangle goes from I think it goes from Oregon. It goes from Oregon to California to the end of Mexico, and that is and that includes Santa Cruz, and that's where they have great white sharks at.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe I did because I knew about that. I just didn't know the name, so maybe it just kind of left my brain after not being by the beach for 10 years.
Yeah, it was so fun to go and swimming out there in Santa Cruz, and it was a beautiful evening and everything else, and like, wow, this is fun. The water is warm and everything else, and come back there and you find out that great whites love to eat at night, and it was like, oh, thank God for that. I wasn't somebody's snack.
Yeah, right. My last day in California before I moved to Vegas, we went to Santa Cruz, and I actually hopped on one of the docks because there was just a bunch of sea lions right there. I just hopped on them and started petting them, and one of them barked at me. Then they just were chilling out. It's such a weird picture that I have and story because those things will bite your hand off.
Oh yeah, they tell you to stay away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was like 19. I was dumb, My friends are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I could go down here." It was fine. Um, but then I came up over November. We went to Pier 39, and there were 2 sea lions on the docks. And they used to be like stacked in layers and like pushing each other on and off the docks. There was 2, just 2.
Wow.
Like, what's happened to them? They're gone. That's part of the best. That's one of the best parts of San Francisco. It could be winter though. It could just be winter thing.
Yeah,
But
they could have migrated. So,
yeah.
um, let's see what you drew.
Ooh. Okay. So I'm not done yet, but I'm working on an anatomical heart. I gotta fix some shading.
Wow, look at
That's
that.
where we're at.
Now
Yeah.
that's what Mandy's been working on while we've been talking to her.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And you did it, and you did. I just love this part. It's like every time I get an artist to come on, I'm always like, unless it's Kevin Stone, that's just impossible. Kevin Stone is a metal sculpture, and he makes dragons the size of the ones you see on Game of Thrones.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Yeah, we weren't going to get him to do that during our interview, but we were able to get this tonight from Mandi Raven, and thank you so much for that. That's amazing. I totally appreciate it. Now, people want to buy your book. I need to figure that out and put it on the description box. Where can we buy your book? Where can we get your book?
It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. I am working on getting it printed, but it's on Kindle right now. And it is called Adult Discovering / Destroying Her Demons, ADHD. And then the author is Ari Raven. That's my writing name.
R.A. Raven?
Okay. A-R-I, Ari. It's my initials.
Okay. Okay. So your first, so Ari Raven. Okay.
Yes, Ari Raven. Yeah.
Okay. I will find that on Amazon, and
I will. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
I want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us tonight, Mandy. I had such a great time.
Thank you. Me too.
I had so much fun, and you're so warm and open and honest with us. And I so appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really do hope your Twitch followers come over and get a chance to listen to this.
I hope so too. This was fun.
I think they would. I think they would gain a whole new level of respect for you that they already have. They already respect you as a gamer and as a streamer. But I think they come over and listen and gain a lot of respect for you as a human being and a creative. And I think that would be really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The professor is already a head start on that. So thank you again, Professor. And hello, Jennifer. How are you? Jennifer P. Tux. She is also a published writer. And
cool.
Yes, thank you so much for coming in. Now, do you have? I don't know if you have a YouTube or not. I do,
but I haven't posted anything on it. I've considered adding that to the Twitch, but it's not anything that is functioning as like social media. It's not anything market wise.
Okay. Well, if you get that started, you just let me know, and then I will add that down below to the description box of all the links, and we will all rush over there and hit the sub button, just like these fine people did. Just like these fine people did with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you again so much to the chat for coming out and being engaged. I appreciate it so much. You guys all rocked it tonight. I really am thankful and grateful that you're here. Real quick before we go, let me tell you what we got going on the rest of the week. Normally we would be here tomorrow, but tomorrow is dark. So we will not be here tomorrow night. Wednesday we have a show with Nicole Ann, a young actress from Ohio, and film director Khalil Neal will be here with us. And I know we're doing Women in Entertainment Month, but I decided to do something a little twisty with us on Wednesday. We're going to be interviewing Khalil, who's just now getting off his career off the ground with Bigfoot of Tennessee Bigfoot. I had to book him when I saw the name of his movie.
That's cool.
And then we'll be talking to Nicole Ann as well. She comes from the state of Ohio, which, as everybody knows, I absolutely love. Ohio has so much freaking talent out there. And we'll be talking to Nicole Ann on Wednesday, as well as Khalil. But then Thursday, the 14th, we are back with another Twitch celebrity. We will be talking with Haley Elizabeth. Haley Elizabeth is a artist. She also is a pole dancer instructor, and she's a body painter. Now I've
Cool.
seen this is cool. So I explained this to this before you came here. So Haley, what she can do is she can actually paint. She can paint on herself while she's talking to the camera, like you were doing right there. But she
Yeah.
uses herself as a canvas. It's
Oh, that's
amazing.
cool.
That is cool. And she will be here with us on Thursday. Both shows start at 8 o'clock, and we definitely hope to see you here for both Wednesday and Thursday. Thank you again all for showing up for the support. Mandy, stay right where you're at for a minute. And to the chat, I'm going to say goodnight, and we will talk at you. We'll see you Wednesday.
Thank
Be
you.
safe and drive home safely. Peace.